Oh my goodness, guys, what a disaster it is out there in the stock market today with about 2.5 hours left in the session. The NASDAQ and the Russell are down over 2%. The Dow is down 0.6%, so that's holding up okay, but the S&P is down over 1%, so we're going to talk about 5 oversold stocks that I'm looking at right now in the market, so sit back, relax, go down below, get your $50 from M1 Finance, simply deposit $100. We each get $50 to invest with, and you guys could check out my Patreon for all my real-time moves. All of those are linked down below. So let's talk. Like I said, markets are not looking so great. We actually had the CDC come out and say that masks are coming back, at least in some states, even for vaccinated people. People that got the vaccine, they're still going to have to wear the masks out there. So there's a lot of fear around the Delta variant, CV potentially coming back full force, maybe another shutdown, which would obviously destroy the economy even further, which it's still recovering, by the way, so that would not be that great, obviously, right? And thus, that would probably destroy the stock market. I mean, you guys remember what happened last March. I mean, we all know, but we got to take a trip down memory lane very quickly. Over a year ago, almost about a year and a half ago at this point, the S&P 500 went, and this is SPY, by the way, an ETF that tracks the S&P. This went from 336 to 218. This lost about 40%. QQQ was just as bad. Russell was bad. Dow was bad. It was a bloodbath all across the board. So now there's fear that this could potentially happen again. And who knows? I mean, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know what's going to happen, but there's risk out there. There's a big fear, big fear around all this, and I'd love to know what you guys have to think down below in the comments. Me personally, do I think it's going to get as bad as it did back in March 2020? No way. I don't think so. But could we see a 10% correction because of this? Yeah. 15%? Absolutely. I think that could happen, which, in my opinion, I mean, that is, it's well overdue, a correction in the stock market. It's well overdue. So let's see if that ends up happening. You know, I'm pretty ready. You know, I have some cash on the sidelines. I'm sure you guys do as well. And I'm accepting the fact that, and I pretty much tell you guys to do the same, even though I'm not a financial advisor. You should accept the fact that anything could happen in the markets, including a correction, a sell-off. That is very possible. So let's talk about some of these stocks that I'm looking at, starting off with Activision Blizzard, ticker symbol ATVI. This one's down 7% just today. And why, you may ask? Well, last week, the California Department of Fair Housing and Employment filed an explosive lawsuit against ATVI that alleged sexual discrimination, harassment, retaliation. In response, a spokesperson for the company called the allegations false and distorted. A subsequent email from Activision executive Francis Townsend described the suit's claims as quote-unquote factually incorrect, old, and out of context. And tons of employees, after this happened over the weekend or last week, whatever, tons of employees came out and they're signing petitions and they're saying, actually, these claims are true, and they're providing some validity to them. And this is all allegedly. You know, I'm not, taking sides here. I'm just reporting the news, obviously. But this is really taking the stock down. Again, down about 7%, down $6. And would I jump into this right now? Probably not. I would wait a little bit to see if the dust settles. But you guys saw the title, 5 oversold stocks. This is very oversold. The RSI is literally at the lowest point it could be at. It's at about 17 here on the RSI chart, which is unbelievable. And we're noticing, technically speaking, yes, we're under the moving averages. We're seeing a death cross, and we're approaching now the bottom of the downwards channel, which we've held over the past couple of months. So let's say we rebound at about $80. Maybe we start pushing up towards mid-80s, low 90s, high 80s. This is very possible, but again, I wouldn't rush into it now. I would wait a couple of days, maybe a week or two, let the dust settle, and we'll see what happens with this lawsuit, what's going on with this discrimination and so forth. Things could be unpacking here the next couple of days. So number one I'm watching is Activision Blizzard. And now with the resurgence of CV, the Delta variant, potential shutdowns, mask restrictions again, even for vaccinated people, we have to look at the CV stocks, in my opinion, right? These could very well do well again, or they could continue going down like they have been the past couple of months. But number one is Teladoc, ticker symbol TDOC. And by the way, Activision reports earnings here in about a week. Teladoc reports, I believe today, maybe I'm wrong on that. Today, after market hours. And Teladoc, you guys can see, this one's down well over 50%, more like 50% exactly. But it is down a crap ton from 308 down to about 150. And this could be a stock that, like I said, with the resurgence of the CV, this could definitely do well. And technically speaking, it's still downtrending. It's above or under, rather, both moving averages. We're seeing a death cross here. So I want to see it break back over $160. That was a key resistance in the middle of June, and start pushing up towards 175, which is a resistance from the end of June. So I'm going to put a couple alerts here on Teladoc. Number one at $160, followed by, let's put it here, maybe $173 per share. Actually, let's put it at $175 to keep it simple. So Teladoc I'm watching. Zoom ZM is another one I'm watching heavily here, guys. This trend has been reversing the past couple of weeks. You know, we've broken out of the downwards channel. We're trading above the moving averages now. Today we're down about 3.5%, but as of yesterday, we were trading above the moving averages, and pretty much now we're fighting to get back over the moving averages. But if we start pushing up towards 370, 375, 380, maybe we start trying to fill the gap back over 400 to 430, which was that key resistance from back in December, also back in February into March a little bit. So I'm looking for this gap to fill on ZM, as you all can see, based on this oval that I'm about to draw. There you go. So in this case, I'm probably going to put an alert at about, let's put it at 378, which was the high from, I believe, yesterday or some point last week. And if that were to break again, maybe we start to fill the gap back up to 420, 430, that general area. And you guys know the Chinese stocks. I mean, this has been an absolute disaster. Number one here that I'm looking at, well, it's Alibaba. But number two, and by the way, I've been buying Alibaba. I bought more today in the 180s. Number two, though, is NIO. And by the way, this is a pattern that we actually predicted. We called this out pretty much every day. Not every day, but we covered it about last week. We talked about it on Patreon. You know, the pattern here, and by the way, Patreon's down below if you guys want to sign up for that. I guarantee you'll find value there. The pattern here is the head and shoulder, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. I mentioned to you guys, if it fails breaking out of the neckline at $48 per share, there could be downside. And we see it got rejected at 48. It dumped under the moving averages. We're seeing a death cross on the 4-hour chart. And today we're down about 9%, meaning we broke under 41. 41 was a key level of support from a couple days ago. Also earlier, a couple weeks ago, in the beginning of June. So the fact that we took out 41, now we fill the gap to 39. That means the head and shoulders intact. We're completing the right shoulder, and the bears are 100% in charge. And maybe we get some sort of relief rally here at 39, maybe back up to 41, 42. But with the pressure on Chinese stocks, guys, it can go either way. Even though it's oversold here, I feel like we might go even lower. It might become even more oversold. So the next downside target on NIO I'm looking at is $34 to about $35, which held pretty religiously all throughout March, into April, into May a little bit. So watch out for that on NEO. And the last one for today is Shopify, guys. SHOP. This is down about 3%, and this is the most bullish one out of all of them in terms of the technicals. I mean, we're above both moving averages. We're making higher highs, higher lows, all that good stuff. But now we're approaching correction territory. We're down almost 10% from the recent all-time high a couple of days ago. And if this breaks the 50 SMA, fills down to about the 180 SMA here on the 4-hour at about $1,400, that is where I would potentially, keyword is potentially, start buying in on the dip. And plus, we have earnings coming out here tomorrow, so I'm probably going to wait till tomorrow. They're coming out pre-market, 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So if we get an entry maybe tomorrow after earnings, some point later this week, close to about 1,400, 1,420, that is where I'm looking to strike here on Shopify. And overall, that's pretty much it. Those are 5 stocks: Activision, Teladoc, ZM, NEO, Shopify. And overall, the markets, whew, it's rough out there, guys. It's one of those days, and this is why you got to be prepared for everything. Whether we're going up, whether we're going down, trading sideways, you have to be prepared. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe, drop a comment, go down below, join the Patreon if you guys want all my real-time buys, sells, call-outs, whether it's trades I'm making, long-term investments, options moves. All of that is linked down below on Patreon, or you guys can go to stocksurfest.com/Patreon. And if you sign up for the top tier, you get a morning update video every single trading day, which is very valuable. So check that out. And you guys can get your $50 from M1 Finance. Use my link, deposit $100, and we each get 50 free bucks to invest with. That's also linked down below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching again. As always, keep crushing the market. Stay safe out there. Peace out.